Madam High Representative, Minister, Director General, good morning to everybody. People used to say, 30 years ago, that the European Union was only an economic giant. But since then, the European Union has also become a political giant. We face massive crises: financial crisis, migration crisis, Brexit, COVID, war. These crises have not destroyed us. They united us and made us stronger. Exactly as Jean Monnet predicted, the European community will be created during crisis. We now face the greatest security crisis of our lifetimes. But I'm optimistic. This crisis too will make us stronger. When it comes to defense, Europe is also a giant, but a sleeping giant. Together we are Europe's defense community. Member States, with all their militaries, High Representative, European Defence Agency, Commission, industries. Together we need to wake up the giant by uniting our efforts, by being ready to fight, not just as a collection of 27, but to fight as Europe. We live now in the world where might is right, as many leaders said last week in Davos. Our answer to deal with this dangerous world was heard very loudly in recent weeks: European independence, European autonomy, more European responsibility for our own defence. And the US National Defence Strategy, published last week, said very clearly their strategic priority is the Indo-Pacific and the Western Hemisphere. And they expect us, Europeans, to take responsibility for Europe's conventional defence, because they, the Americans, will diminish their presence on the European continent. And for us, Europeans, it means that we must very rapidly build our independence. Independence in defence, without delays and without excuses. That is what Commission President Ursula von der Leyen told the European Parliament also last week, and Council President Antonio Costa, and President Macron and Chancellor Merz. To be clear, independence does not mean alone. Independence means together. Building an European pillar in NATO, together in the European Union, together in NATO and with Ukraine. Building a strong economy and defence together. European responsibility for defence does not mean the European Union institutions are in charge of defence. That is the job of the Member States. The Commission's job is to do everything we can to help Member States to do that job. With European Union added value, European Union laws, European Union money, European Union coordination, and European Union scale. Like we have done for many years with the European Defence Fund, ASAP and the DIRBA programs with great success. And we are now scaling up that success. Last year, I said, we need a big bang in defence. Now we have a big bang in defence investment. With the 150 billion in safe loans we proposed for defence last March, the Commission has already endorsed 16 national investment plans and sent them for approval to the Council, and we are now looking at the remaining 3. And Member States during the NATO summit pledged to spend 6.8 trillion on their defence, if they will fulfil their pledges, till 2035. And we have also policy big bang in defence. You know that the Commission achieved in policy development last year. The White Paper, Defence Readiness Roadmap, Simplification Omnibus, Military Mobility Package, and Communication on Defence Industry Transformation. There is no need to go into details. Just a few words on 2 big strategic issues. First, EDIP. One of our biggest policy achievements of the last year. Building, first of all, on ASAP and EDIRPA logic for massive defence industry ramp-up. On 2nd of February, I will convene the first meeting of the Security of Supply Board. its task to support the Commission to implement the first-ever EU defence security of supply regime. In the board, Commission and Member States will map and monitor defence supply chains. We will assess how to avoid security-related supply crises, to make sure that all conditions are in place to support fast defence industry ramp-up. We will continue to leverage the EU budget for joint procurement, building on the DIRPA experience, concretely supporting Member States to aggregate their demand to their benefit and to the benefit of European Union industry. And we will mobilise our budget to address bottlenecks in our defence supply chains, to de-risk and accelerate ramp-up. We are currently working with Member States and Ukraine also on EDIP priorities, such as missiles. This is an urgent priority. And I will go very soon on a missile tour, what I call, asking industry, how many missiles can you build? What are the bottlenecks in supply chains? And use this missile mapping to ramp up defence efforts. We will organise more implementation dialogues with industry. And we will move forward with EDIP's biggest innovation, European defence projects of common interest and the structure of European armament programme. More about that a little bit later. First, a few words on Ukraine, the second big strategic issue. Ukraine has now suffered nearly 4 years of this invasion. EU and Member States continue to support Ukraine's defence capabilities. Ukraine is defending also us. Increasing Russian attacks don't show that peace is very close. Our support to Ukraine is vital to Ukraine and to ourselves. As you know, EU agreed on a €90 billion loan for Ukraine, including €60 billion for defence. Now I am working very intensively with my services and the Ukrainians to get ready for implementation starting from April. And we count on the European industry also to get ready to respond to the Ukrainian needs. We are also engaging with Ukraine on missiles and drones. Soon, we will set up the drone alliance with Ukraine. So, as Commission, we have created many opportunities for our defence and will continue to create them. But 2026 will be the year of delivery for defence readiness. What defines success? First, getting the capabilities we need, but also a more integrated European defence industry, working and learning from Ukraine, jointly developing our defence, and building a strong Europe. Europe able to fight. Spending more money alone does not guarantee success. The famous British economist and historian Adam Tooze recently pointed out, in the last 10 years, Europeans spent €3.1 trillion on defence. And the results? Are we ready today to defend and deter Putin? As Adam Tooze says, quantity does not automatically bring quality. I want to warn here today for one big danger. Most new money will be national. So the temptation will be to spend only national. That would be a big mistake. That would only increase fragmentation, only increase our dependency on third countries, because we shall continue to procure outside of European industries. Staying only national means staying fragmented. Fragmented industry, small contracts, limited production capacities. More money, but no production growth, would only increase prices of defence products, increase inefficiency, increase waiting times for product delivery. Of course, possibly it will increase also market value of industry shares, but it will not increase our defence readiness and defence independence. So what will? We now need the Member States to show leadership to develop European defence, European leadership, to be ready to fight as Europe. Member States set priorities for their defence. But we need Member States now to set out not only national priorities, but also European priorities. Member States do a great job in capability coalitions. But some gaps are so big they can only be filled together. We need to develop pan-European capabilities, not only national ones, assigned to each Member State by NATO capability targets. Pan-European capabilities, like the strategic enablers, we now critically depend on America for, like strategic airlift, air-to-air refueling or missile defense, space intelligence data or surveillance, command and control capabilities. And we need the united political leadership of Member States in defining this pan-European defense project, like the Eastern Flank Watch. At the Helsinki summit in December, Member States took important steps forward on this project to defend the eastern border. I invite Member States to take the lead on other flagship defence projects we proposed on drones, space and missile defence. And I invite also Member States to initiate their own, to defend, for example, the Mediterranean or the Arctic regions, or to build specific capabilities, like sovereign military cloud. So my appeal to Member States, lead, and we will support. We have already put the tools in place for you to build pan-European projects in Egypt. The structure of European Armament Programme, SEAP, and the European defence projects of common interest. Member States take charge of these projects, and they will receive support from the European Union. Grants, VAT exemptions, easier procurement rules, possibility to borrow in the markets. To succeed with such important projects, it's important to take swift, coordinating decisions on the highest political level. That is why I publicly raised the issue. Maybe we really need to establish an European Security Council, which was originally proposed by Macron and Merkel back in 2017-2018, to coordinate and to lead us in this major transformation of European defence. Success is defined by what does not happen in defence. Putin not testing us, Russia not attacking us. We have no right to fail. We will succeed only if we openly recognise our most disturbing weaknesses and if we are ready to overcome them. Fragmentation and lack of unity is our most painful weakness in European defence. The common market is our strength in the global economy. Common defence would be our strength in a world of power. In a world of giants, we too must become giants. A gentle giant that promotes international law and cooperation, but a strong giant all the same. So in the coming year, let's work together and make Europe a giant for our defence, united, independent and strong, ready to fight as Europe. Thanks a lot.